good afternoon, or I'm sorry, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a good week. This past week was a good week, I thought. Saturday night, our guys, I thought, took a step, getting better. Specialists, everybody, punt return, punt, field goal. You know, we got a lot of work to do. I told our guys this morning we have a lot of work to do prior to the game on Saturday night. We don't get into a whole lot of Denver. They've actually, their special teams coordinator left Indianapolis to go to Denver. He's a very good coach. He'll have them ready to play, but I'm looking more for fundamentals, techniques, effort, being where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, and doing it that way every rep. And that's the key for us working on this week, getting into Saturday night's game. Oh yeah, absolutely. That because you get to all four phases. You know, Saturday night we just had punt return, punt and field goal. You know, today we got some kickoff and punt return. Tomorrow we'll have kickoff return, some field goal. So, you know, we are going to continue on with training camp because obviously the ultimate goal is to get ready for that opening day in September against San Francisco. But with 4 preseason games to work on all our stuff and to evaluate these players and figure out who the best guys are going to be at the right spots, that's going to be huge for us. Coach Zimmer and I haven't talked about it. I brought that up yesterday in a personnel meeting, and he's going to think about it, and then he and I are going to talk later on in the week. Well, you know, I was there for 2 years, Ben. You may remember that before I came here, and the thing that you want to make sure you have to avoid the trap of going out there and trying to kill the ball. Because the altitude, like you said, is going to help you. And it does make a difference. The 4-6 punt might turn into a 5-0 punt. You know, it does make a difference. But they still have to go out and do what they're supposed to do, kick how they're supposed to kick, not do anything different than they've been doing at pretty much sea level. So it will be exciting. I've had punters and kickers go crazy because they're in Denver, and other guys have, you know, kind of reined them in a little bit. And you know, I think Quigley will be fine. Kyle will be fine. Daniel will have to rein him in a little bit because he'll want to kick the ball into the stands on kickoff. So we just got to do what we do and do it the best we can every time. Mhm. So one of the great things that happened in training camp, and it's always been like this, but at the very first special teams meeting, Coach Zimmer shows up towards the end of the meeting and basically says, "Hey guys, if you don't start on offense or defense, you better play special teams. A, it's going to help you make the team. B, it's going to help you get a hat on the game day. You're going to be one of the 46 on game day." So having that support from him, having that support from Rick, understanding the importance of the roster and the people you keep is not only offense and defense, but it is special teams as well. It's huge for me because that's what I've been saying. But I'm supposed to say that when the leadership says it, that makes us a lot makes those guys work a little bit harder. I think and prepare a little bit more. Sure. Brandon Zylstra is 215 pounds. You're going to look for him to play some of the maybe linebacker type spots or safety type spots. I would ask like a Anthony Harris or a Jaron Curse to fill those roles. A guy like Jeff Badette, he's a smaller, quicker athlete with great speed, so he might be playing some of the roles that Marcus Sherrills might be playing in coverage, that sort of thing. So it depends on the athlete himself, not just so much the position he plays on offense or defense, but the athlete himself. Oh, yes, very much so. I see potential for Mike Hughes doing anything he wants to do in this game. He's very talented. He's very intelligent. He's very quiet and unassuming. You guys have probably all talked to him, but there's a drive in there that you can see. And I've been around a lot of young people, and I think he's one of the guys that really understands what he needs to do to get better. He knows he hasn't arrived yet, even though he's a first-round draft pick. I love his attitude. I love his effort, and he's improving every day. Again, that's up to Coach Zimmer, but I would hope so. Yes. They both done a nice job in field goals. They both missed. I think they're both 12 of 14 kickoffs, as you would expect. Daniel's a little bit stronger. Kai would have to use his finesse in figuring out where to place the ball, et cetera. As you know, use his veteran savvy. You know, it's very close right now. They're both working really hard. They help each other. They're both pros, and I mean, Kai's done this before. Daniel's done a nice job of fitting in with the group and saying, you know, just because I was drafted doesn't mean I have a spot on this team. He's going out and working every day. So it's been a really good summer there in that regard so far, and hope that continues. Yeah, like I said before, Coach Zimmer and I are going to talk about it later this week, and then we'll obviously execute that plan on Saturday night. Brandon Zylstra, Yeah, I mean, like I said to Courtney, I think the one thing that Brandon gives you is that he's got size. I mean, he can play those safety type positions on special teams. He runs well. He's got really good knee bend. He's a good athlete. I think the thing with Brandon, he needs experience. He needs reps. He hasn't really done this before, but he wants to. He's a smart player, like a lot of these guys. They've been a fun group to work with this summer. Rick has assembled a really good football team, and I'm excited to keep working with these guys. I try to do as much carryover from offense and defense to special teams techniques. I try to use some of the same buzzwords. Obviously, it is a little bit different in terms of the dynamics of each play that they're out there for. But at the end of the day, it's try to use the same buzzwords that their position coaches use it, so it doesn't confuse them. It doesn't, now I have to worry about two different words meaning the same thing. I try to keep as much carryover as possible. And to be quite honest, if you can block on offense as a receiver or as a running back or as a tight end, you've got a chance to do a pretty good job on special teams. If I do my job and put put them against the right person, the right matchup for them, so to speak, that gives them a better opportunity to be successful. I was talking about reining him in Denver, so he doesn't like go crazy because we're playing at high altitude and the ball travels a lot further. No, I don't mean reining him in here, and really reining him in anytime he's trying to kick a long field goal. But what I mean by that is I don't want him to overkick and his technique goes crazy because he's trying to overkick it, trying to utilize the high altitude. All you got to do is do what you do normally, and the altitude works for you. Same with the wind. Be the same thing with the wind. That's what we tell him all the time.